All right, we got a couple people joining in here. We'll give some people some time to join. If people are still sober after the scrimmage we just witnessed. This is Garnet and Old. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. If you know anything about me, you know I stay till the bitter end. And it was a bitter end for sure. But if you want to do me a favor, go ahead and share this out. If you don't mind, on your social media, just share it out. We'll get some more folks in here. I will try to manage the comments as well. We'll see what happens with that. We are currently exiting the stadium after the scrimmage. Wait about another minute before we actually start talking about what happened during the scrimmage. So do me a favor, like I said, share it out if you don't mind. Try and get some of our Knoll brethren and sisterin in the feed here. All right, now officially exiting. Try not to run into people. All right, so let's talk about it. Going into the game, or going into the scrimmage, I'm going to keep calling it that. Going into the scrimmage, we already knew there were tons of people that were not going to play, whether it be because of going pro, trying to go pro, opting out, transferring out, what have you. And then, Ryan and I did our show on Thursday. We were talking about, what do we think the score was going to be? I was pretty confident Florida State wasn't going to win this game. But that was anticipating that our defense was going to be a little more intact than it was. So we found out right before the game that two primary players were not going to play as well. So it is what it is. You basically saw, Georgia is a very good team, very deep. And you saw, first team basically against third team. I mean, if we're being honest about it, it's just the way it is. I think that's Mr. Deloach. I got to go say hi to Mr. Deloach. No, he's already walking away. Want to say a quick hi to him. Anyway, he played well, by the way. His kid played well tonight. So back to what I was saying. We knew that there was going to be a lot of primary production out of this game. And that's the way it played out. Well, let's talk about some positives from the scrimmage. Brock Glenn looked multiple times better than he did in the ACC championship game a few weeks ago. Kid's got an arm, and he did not have a lot of help from the receivers. There's a couple throws he had that were a little off the mark, but I also didn't think that they, put forth the effort on a couple of those. I mean, no outstretched hands. But anyway, Brock Glenn looked better, and you got a lot to work with there. Kid's got an arm. Like I said, the receivers, there were a couple decent catches in the game. Not a lot. I think Kentron had a really good one. There was a throw on the sideline. I think might have been Vendravius Jacobs. He was a little bit out of bounds, maybe, or at least that was the call. If you remember that, I'm at the game live, so I didn't get the full replay there. So if you know about what happened with that play, go ahead and jump in the comments. But offensive line, you started seeing guys go down like they've been going down all year. And then, just couldn't put together any semblance of a consistency with the drives. It's still go Noles. That's right. Zondale, go Noles. It's still go Noles. Brock's going to be all right. I agree with you. He is going to be all right. Bye, friends. We'll talk to you soon. So I'm not really concerned about him. He's obviously real young, and he's got a lot of talent, and he just needs time. And these, this experience in the scrimmage here is going to go a long way. And I think the coaches can look at that tape and know what they have to work with him. The Wildcat stuff, we knew we were going to see. some of that. We saw a lot of it. And at times, it really worked pretty well. But it was never going to be enough. And that's just the way it is. So let's talk about what this means going forward. Well, hold on. Let's go back. Let's talk about what this means for this past season. Wow, that is some interesting language happening to the right of me on these music. I'm gonna wait till I get past this. Give me a moment. Yes, so we're past all of that. What happened tonight has no bearing on what happened with this season. And as Knoll fans, we know that. And people outside of the fandom don't get it, whatever. I would say if I were you, especially if you've been having a few, stay off social media if you can, because it is nasty out there. And people are using it as what happened tonight as a referendum on the pageant. What they did was right, and we all know that's not true. So going forward, one thing that I think is going to be really tricky for this staff is they're going to have a really tough job ahead of them, even though this was only a scrimmage, coming back from what happened tonight, and refocusing what's left of the roster, and getting them to, come out of that. That's just my opinion, and that may or may not be true, but that's my opinion. Is even though it was a scrimmage, it's tough, man. It's tough to see your kids go through that. Let's see. John Bellardino. Garnet and gold, even when I'm dead and cold. Yes, I agree with you there. It's not really cold here, and I am not dead, so that's good. Jody Beard, I'm ready for next season. Can't wait. Vermont Memorial to get back rolling. Not sure what that means. Yeah, nobody was playing. I had very few people playing, right? So what's the benefit? The benefit is you got a lot of young guys with a lot of experience tonight. And they use that. The coaches can use that to know how to continue to grow and develop these kids. Jose Zandale says Destin Hill had the sideline catch that was reversed. Yeah, so I wasn't sure who it was. I couldn't really see. And they didn't give you. I agree with you on that, on the giving the extra effort. There was a couple passes, like I said, that maybe a little more outstretched hands. Maybe you get a chance to get a fingertip on it. We got a great coach. We can bounce back. Agreed, Jody. I'm just saying. I think it's tough. Hopefully, they can just flush this, and I'm pretty sure they will. I mean, it's a new season now. So back to what I was saying about this past season, the season that just ended. 13-0, unconquered, undefeated. That's the way it's always going to be remembered by me and anybody that's a true fan of the team. What we had to endure tonight, and we did endure it because we're fans. I mean, we had to come and support the team till the end. It doesn't do anything to minimize what the team did. Let's see. Thomas, FSU needs to get better at getting 5-star recruits out of high school. Agreed. We need a little better recruiting on the staff, I think. I think we're probably going to see a change or two maybe coming up in the next few weeks. So, I don't have any inside info on that. I'm just reading the leaves there. We can't continue to, I don't want to say strike out, because the class we just got was great, but we need more difference makers, and we need to close them out. Got to get some linebackers. This is exactly what I've been kind of referring to there. So linebacker play was probably what you expect with Bethune not playing, and DJ Lundy deciding to take it to the circus out west. We're going this way. Okay, cool. Game didn't matter, Jody. We're still 13, and we are. Agreed. on the record book, it'll say 13-1. Whatever. It's a scrimmage. And all of you that are watching tonight, and you're a Knoll fan, I want you to continue to refer to this as the Orange Bowl scrimmage for the rest of your life. That's because that's what it was. Just like the college football invitational, the college football pageant, and the Orange Bowl scrimmage. It's not going to take away from what happened during this season. Let's see. Any other thoughts? Oh, the Chiefs were great, of course, as usual. And they, they did the Fan Fest last night. They were great there, and they played Shake It Off, and they played Separate Ways by Journey, and those two pieces were purposefully played. Shake It Off was for the pageant snub, and Separate Ways was specifically targeted toward the ACC. So I'd be happy to go our separate ways there. Let's see. Jody says, I believe in this team. We can win 11 games next year. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's possible. I believe in the staff, and I believe in the way they develop the team. And, but, we don't, the main thing is what's going to happen in the quarterback spot, right? And we should be hearing something about that soon, I believe. The staff can't continue to wait for Cam Ward to make a decision on what he's going to do. At some point, you've got to say, hey, you're either coming or you're not, and then move on to DJ. So you just can't continue to wait for that. They got to start building this team because I think there are some other there's some other portal prospects that are waiting to figure out what's happening with the quarterback spot. Almost to the car. The stadium, actually, you don't see this stadium full that often, except on Sundays. But it was a pretty good crowd tonight, I'd say. As far as like split, I'd say probably 50-50. The stadium was not full, as far as packed. But the crowd that was there, I believe it was probably about 50-50. And a lot of the crowd stayed throughout the majority of the game. We started seeing people leave, right about the third quarter. Midway through the third quarter, you started to see people start to leave. But other than that, the crowd was pretty good. All right. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about the game. Does anybody want to talk about anything that you saw in the game that you want me to talk about? If you were watching it on TV, you have probably have a better idea on some of the things from a detail perspective. As I get in the car here. All right. Take a moment here, and then if nobody chimes in, here's one. We have to do a better job high school recruiting. We need guys with more team loyalty, disappointment or not. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. Is it Sheila or Shell? I can't tell. My phone's kind of small. I think I'm kind of torn with that because while I agree that the players that decided to opt out, that they have the right to do that, and I do understand the fact that they felt, snubbed, right? And that all the games that they played and they won, in their mind, didn't matter because that's what the playoff committee said. Like those games did not matter. But then as this scrimmage plays out this evening, I have a hard time seeing those players that opt out on the sideline, watching these young kids basically get whipped. And so I'm kind of torn with that because, yes, they have every right to do that. They have every right to opt out, but yet this is your team. Like this is your brotherhood and you don't owe anything to anybody. Yeah, I get all that. But then watching what happened tonight, it's tough. I'm kind of torn. I was just saying to a friend of mine here that I would have loved to have seen ones versus ones in this game tonight. I don't know that we would have won the game, even with ones versus ones. With Jordan, I think there's a chance, right? But ones versus ones, you know, even without Jordan, I think this game would have been a lot more competitive. I'm sorry, scrimmage. I just made my own mistake there. This scrimmage would have been a lot more competitive. But as it was tonight in Hard Rock, Doak South, we basically saw Georgia's first team against Florida State's third team, plus some walk-ons. So how did we think this was going to go? You know, and I do feel bad, Sheila. I feel bad for the guys that play too. I mean, I don't feel bad that they play. I mean, they got more experience than they've gotten their whole career, and it's going to serve them well. But it is. I don't know how you look around and see your teammates that you looked up to, you know, just kind of sitting on the sideline. I have a hard time reconciling that. So Lori says, I said the same thing to Lee. Those who opted out served up their teammate. Yeah, served them up on a platter. So congratulations on the opt-out. You had every right to do it, but, you know, here's the result. Fisk talked about playing one last time in his interview and then opted out. I don't know that Fisk opted out. I'm pretty sure he had an injury of some kind, and I don't have any inside info on that, but he was in a boot constantly, and so at least the official word is it was injury related. So I'm going to wrap this up now. Thank you guys for chiming in here, and if you got to watch the scrimmage on TV, more power to you, my Knoll friends. This is what we do, unconquered, and all we got, all we need, you name it, all the slogans. Don't forget Garnet and Old, no inside info, no contacts, no problem. Tell all your friends, share it out, subscribe. Ryan and I really appreciate all the support we've gotten this season. And as usual, go Noles, and don't forget, send Chiefs all the damn time. Go Noles.